Hello, my name is Maria Pakkala, and I am passionate about the Arabic language in all its varieties. Yeah, Arabic is not really a single language at all. Arabic is a macro language. It comes in different varieties. I myself grew up using four varieties of Arabic. I spoke one variety with my parents and another with my schoolmates. At school, we were taught modern standard Arabic, which is nobody's mother tongue de facto, but is treated as one and as the only correct Arabic language used for writing and reading. Classical Arabic is introduced in the classes of religion, but is not considered different from modern standard Arabic. This view is held even by Arabic speaking linguists and university professors in Arab countries. So these two languages are treated as if they were one and the same. So yes, written forms of Arabic are Classical Arabic and Modern Standard Arabic, which is usually called modern MSA. Medieval and Islamic sources are in Classical Arabic, textbooks, literature, the news, public speeches are in Modern Standard Arabic. So normally children grow up speaking the variety used by their parents or the region where they grew up. They then learn Modern Standard Arabic at school around the age of 7. They are exposed to Modern Standard Arabic also through children's programs. With the exception of some programs in Egyptian Arabic, children's programs are usually in Modern Standard Arabic all over the Arabic-speaking sphere. So children are exposed to Modern Standard Arabic through cartoons and through schooling. Arabic speakers, hence, live in a state of diglossia. That is to say, we write and read in Modern Standard Arabic, but we speak a local variety with the people around us. Educated Arabic speakers are supposed to both understand and produce Modern Standard Arabic. Uneducated Arabic speakers, on the other hand, understand Modern Standard Arabic to a certain degree because they are exposed to it, but they usually cannot speak it because they have not trained that skill at school. This can be perplexing for non-Arabic speaking people who want to study Arabic in order to interact with Arabic speakers. They wonder, should I learn MSA or a spoken variety? If I learn a spoken variety, which one should I choose? If I want to study both MSA and a spoken variety, is it going to be like studying two different languages? And they worry maybe they mix the two in their daily life when they use the language. So let's go through these questions one at a time together. First, let me mention that discussions about Arabic are often politically loaded. There are some widely held views about Arabic in the Arabic-speaking countries, and these views are sometimes far from being scientific or accurate. For example, the view that Modern Standard Arabic is Arabic and that the varieties we speak in different places are actually wrong versions of Arabic. That is to say that the way we speak is kind of grammatically incorrect Arabic, and that is the reason why these two versions are different from each other. A kind of vulgar Arabic, if you allow the comparison of this situation to the one in Latin. People do not question these widely held views, neither should you if you take my advice. Foreigners are advised to learn Modern Standard Arabic instead of spoken varieties because Modern Standard Arabic is believed to be the variety we have in common. You will hear that a lot, that this is what we have in common. This is the variety everybody knows. That is the variety that is standard and that it is the same and for everyone all over the Arabic-speaking countries. The spoken varieties are not respected. So people basically recommend you to learn and use one variety of Arabic that they themselves do not use in their daily lives. So, is there a situation or a reason why someone should study modern standard Arabic instead of the spoken variety of Arabic? Well, the decision depends on what you want to do with your knowledge of Arabic. In other words, it depends on the reasons why you are learning Arabic. So let's say if you want to study Arabic for religious reasons, you are Muslim and the language is very important for your rituals, etc. So in that situation, go for modern standard Arabic, especially if you want to also be able to read modern day religious literature. Another option is to go for classical Arabic. There are special institutes for that. I would say it's recommended also if you need it for work. Let's say you plan to work in an international organization and you would be required to read and write reports, or if you want to read literature, for example, or to follow political developments and analysis in the Middle East, for example. These are good reasons for you to choose modern standard Arabic over a spoken variety. However, bear in mind, however, that modern standard Arabic is not a lingua franca, as many Arabic speakers would tell you. Nobody speaks modern standard Arabic as a mother tongue, nor as a daily life language. Educated people can understand it, but not everybody is able to produce it. With educated Arabs, modern standard Arabic is as useful as, let's say, High German is with Swiss German speakers in Switzerland. Not that knowledge of modern standard Arabic would be useless. No. If you speak modern standard Arabic, you will be understood, but you will not always understand what people answer you back because most Arabic speakers are not able to stick to modern standard Arabic the whole conversation, and for some, not even the whole sentence. But if you do not need Arabic for religious reasons, for career reason, or for academic reasons, and you do not have a personal reason for choosing one particular variety, then I highly recommend learning a major spoken Arabic variety. If you are learning Arabic to communicate with people, to watch shows, to watch movies, to listen to music and understand the lyrics, you need to choose one of the two most widely spoken and widely understood varieties of Arabic. Let's have a look at the map. So as you see, the Arabic language in its varieties is spoken in a very large area, geographically speaking. It is being spoken in 21 countries, depending on how you count these countries and which ones you consider countries, and because here too there are some political issues, like are you going to count Palestine separately than Israel, or the one as one and the two as one? What are you going to do with that? And then Arabic is also an official language in some countries that do not really have majority speaking Arabic. Also, in some countries, Arabic has a special status, like in Israel, for example. So with this situation, with this large area and all these statuses that Arabic has in different areas, we kind of expect it to be spoken in different ways, right? So despite some internal differences, even within the same countries, as is the case for many other languages usually, we can categorize Arabic varieties the following way, in a very general way. These are the major spoken varieties in order of number of speakers and of exposure. We are going to speak about exposure in a minute. So the main varieties are Egyptian, followed by Levantine, followed by Mesopotamian, and then Peninsular and Maghrebi. By Egyptian, of course, we mean the language spoken in Egypt. By Levantine, we mean the language spoken in Lebanon, Syria, Jordan, Palestine, and Israel. By Mesopotamian, we mean Iraqi Arabic, which is a major variety of Arabic. By peninsula, we mean the Gulf area. It has quite some differences within it, but in general, we can speak of the area as belonging to one general variety. And Maghrebi, despite some substantial differences between, for example, let's say the language spoken in Algeria and the language spoken in Tunisia or Mauritania, which I would say Hassani Arabic is not really even close to Tunisian or to Moroccan, but they are categorized under this category of Maghrebi. So there are of course dialects within each of these varieties, but generally speaking, these are the major ones. So the two main categories are the ones to shoot for if you are still undecided. And if you want, of course, my point of view. Now, the most asked question about these varieties is, of course, about mutual intelligibility. The spoken varieties of Arabic are different enough to be considered separate languages. But this is such a sensitive political issue that often leads to arguments. For political and religious reasons, Arabs are encouraged to think of themselves as belonging to one united nation that speaks one language with some minor dialects within it. Hence, speaking of one's own specific language variety, if you even call it language, and not a dialect, or a variety and not a dialect, is often frowned upon and leads to arguments. There are major differences in pronunciation, phonetics, syllabification, syntax, and vocabulary. Major ones. However, the varieties that are the most understood by Arabic speakers are the ones that they are the most exposed to. Those they understand the least are those they are hardly exposed to. So exposure to the variety introduces the listener to the way native speakers use their language, how they form sentences, how they pronounce their sounds, how they play with their words, etc. And the lack of exposure, on the other hand, pushes Arabic speakers away from particular varieties. They do not even try to listen to them for clues. Sometimes the views are plain absurd. Most Arabic speakers would tell you that Moroccan is so difficult to understand that it is not even Arabic. The same Arabic speakers, however, would tell you that Maltese is a dialect of Arabic. So when it comes to these kinds of discussions, maybe one should take them with a grain of salt. There are other issues related to these discussions than scientifically thinking and being accurate, or it's very subjective. So let's have some examples and see how these major varieties refer to each other. I chose to put Modern Standard Arabic in the beginning just for reference. And I include also Maltese because even if I personally do not consider it an Arabic variety, Maghrebi Arabic helped me a lot in learning Maltese, but it is still a separate language. According to an academic Arabic Maltese intelligibility study done on Libyan and Tunisian speakers, both groups understood only 20% of Maltese. So if I want to say, I want to eat something now. In standard Arabic, it would be أريد أن آكل شيئا الآن. Now, the verb I want, you can see that in MSA it's أريد, in Egyptian it's عايز, in Levantine بدي, in Iraqi it's أريد, which is close to standard Arabic أريد, some vowel differences. In Moroccan it's بغيت, in Maltese it's أريد. So also the root of the Semitic word R D preceded by an alif, hamza, weak verb. So أريد, أريد, إريد. And here Maltese was closer to standard Arabic than Moroccan, Levantine, and Egyptian, all of them. The N in the red signifies what is non-existent in the other versions. Then we have the word to eat. The verb to eat is the same in all versions. And then something, shay'an in standard Arabic, which is found in Levantine, in Iraqi, in Moroccan somehow, and in Maltese somehow. Both Moroccan and Maltese express something the same way. Shi haja, something. In standard Arabic, it's a thing, and in Levantine and Iraqi, the same. In Egyptian, it's pronounced differently than the second half of Moroccan and Maltese. So haga in Egyptian, and in Moroccan haja, and in Maltese haja. Very mild differences. Also, the word now is different in almost all of them. There's a similarity between Iraqi and Maltese here, hassa and issa. So here we can see that there are similarities, but there are also differences. Now, just for to give you another idea about how these varieties are viewed by Arabic speakers, there are some varieties that are considered kind of low. They're looked down upon, and this one is basically Moroccan. It's even if when we speak about Maghrebi, it's like Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, Mauritania. So all of them have kind of difficulties. They are considered difficult for other speakers, but it's Moroccan that is picked up as the weirdo of the group. So here in this picture, you can see how the Moroccan Darija is dressed up. That boy is dressed up that way, the weirdo. And then what is the general view about Moroccan is that it's just a mixture, kind of mixture of languages. It's not like one language, just a melting pot of languages, if you want. Yeah, so how much can Arabic speakers of different varieties understand each other's depends on the combination. Some combinations work better than other ones. So for example, if you have an Egyptian speaker and a Levantine speaker, they would understand each other's rather well. The same is said between an Iraqi and someone from the Gulf area. When you put a Maghrebi, anyone from the whole Maghreb, from the North African region, with anyone else, it's going to be difficult. But mutual intelligibility depends on exposure. The Egyptian-Syrian conversation works at least 50% because these people are exposed to the varieties of each others. The popularity of Egyptian films in Syria and the popularity of Syrian TV serials in Egypt means that most people don't come to it completely cold. But people with zero exposure would not understand negation, question words, and some amount of vocabulary. If you find, for example, if you put an Egyptian child with a Syrian child, the communication is going to be rather short because the absence of exposure and the absence of modern standard Arabic, which they learn at school, means that they do not have the luggage with which they can understand each other to change the difficult part into something they have in common. Or they wouldn't even know what are the issues they are facing in that communication. They wouldn't know why they do not understand each other's. Let's take another extreme example. A Juba Arabic speaker, someone, Juba Arabic is understood by Sudanese speakers because of the lexical similarity and because of exposure to each other's varieties. However, an Egyptian, for example, has absolutely no chance of joining the conversation. Again, to come back to Moroccan is almost absent from Arab media. When a Moroccan speaks Moroccan on the news, for example, of a non-Arab channel, the standard Arabic subtitles are provided. But this is not done to Egyptian or Levantine speakers, mainly because they are considered clearer or even closer to the so-called correct form of Arabic. So some Arabic varieties are better understood than others because of exposure. It's diffusion that makes them understood and felt like clearer and kind of easy on the ear. So this means that some varieties are more useful than others. If you speak Levantine or Egyptian, it's more useful for you to communicate with as many people as possible within the Arabic-speaking sphere than if you knew, for example, Tunisian or Yemeni or Juba Arabic. What is important to remember is that some Arabic varieties are more prestigious than others. They're considered so. Some are more mutually intelligible than others. And this will help us choose the best option for us to learn. So what is it? What is this best option? In terms of exposure and diffusion, basically, there are two great options. The first option is Egyptian. There was a time when Egyptian was almost the only variety recommended to foreign students. Egyptian Arabic used to be the most chosen variety by Westerners and non-Egyptian Arabs alike as a lingua franca. So someone coming from any other part of the Arabic speaking sphere would actually change or switch the code into Egyptian to be more understood because they were sure that this is the variety that the Arabic speaking people hear the most and understand the most. Again, exposure. And the reason behind that is that Egyptian Arabic was the main language of culture, movies, songs, series, talk shows, and so on. Now, Egyptian is still important. It's an important variety to learn, very useful, but it does not have the monopoly anymore. Levantine Arabic is a serious competitor, which I think you should take seriously. Now, if we think about numbers, 100 million is a huge number. However, you are not going to speak with all of them. But even if Levantine speakers are only 40 million people, they are in 5 different countries. And because of this, the political situation we are living at the moment, they are all over our countries. So they are in Europe, they are in America. So there is a good opportunity for you to also meet these speakers and exercise your language skills with them. So I personally encourage my students to choose Levantine Arabic. I would recommend it over Egyptian because even though both are very present in the field of art and media, Levantine Arabic is generic enough to open doors for you. This is the language shared by Lebanese, Syrians, Jordanians, and Palestinians. The speakers of Levantine have produced some great movies, TV series, music, what have you. And these are widely watched in the Arabic speaking sphere. Um, and also because many popular soap operas were dubbed into Syrian and not into Egyptian, the variety became even more popular and more understood. It got a lot of exposure. So here are the reasons again. Levantine has a lot of exposure. It's widely understood around the Arabic speaking sphere. Um, Also, it has plenty of materials to study. The materials from basic levels to advanced. I think it will take longer to be totally at home with Egyptian, given the fact that Egyptians use intertextuality in their way of speaking. That is, Egyptians tend to quote movies, songs, and other materials in their daily life. So being fluent and comfortable requires a broad knowledge of the culture. This is not the case of Levantine Arabic. Although knowledge of the culture goes without saying in all language acquisition processes, but this particular aspect of the way Egyptians speak will make you uncomfortable for quite some time before you are totally at home. Another good point about Levantine is that it is somehow in the middle of the varieties. From there, you can fairly easily jump to Iraqi, to peninsular Arabic varieties. Also, the Syrian crisis has brought Syrians to the West, and we nowadays have possibilities to meet Syrians and also to take courses online. There are plenty of courses offered online, and I find it amazing. I mentioned the fact that there is a good amount of materials. And because I know that we all like to read, and we said that we only have a modern standard Arabic as a writing tool, but because of so many Western people who are studying Levantine, there's this wonderful series that is, in my opinion, very useful for enforcing your skills in Maltese. This series, for example, has 15 books. It's a very good source. I really encourage you to see it. This goes B1, B2 level, and there are other ones. There are more. readers of Levantine Arabic. There's this one شوي عن حالي كمان شوي عن حالي, which is like telling you about myself, telling you a bit more about myself. And then there is this other series called Syrian Arabic Voices, which has you listen to authentic audios and you learn from them. There are also versions from Jordanian and from Palestinian and from Lebanese. So there is plenty of good material out there. In addition to these learning materials, there are a lot of other sources for advanced students. There are tons of wonderful podcasts, and through these podcasts you would also learn a lot about the culture, about the politics of the area. You will learn basically any subject has a good podcast in this variety. And also TEDx Beirut talks are really, in my opinion, something you should try once you are heading towards advanced materials. Many of these podcasts have YouTube channels with subtitling. Also, the TEDx Beirut talks are subtitled in English. So yeah, I think it's a huge benefit. Also, there are tons of wonderful movies, songs, series. Basically, anything you need is available in Levantine Arabic. Also, social media offers tons of materials. There are groups on Facebook that teach or help learn Levantine Arabic. I think you should also have a look at them. Now we reached this point where I hope you consider Levantine Arabic as a good option with the Egyptian. But now when we reach the point where we have learned one variety and we want to speak with people outside this variety, how does this conversation usually work? This is what we call cross-dialectal conversation in Arabic. We have a word for or an expression for it in Arabic. I call it white Arabic, which means like non-colored, like uncolored. And it is called so because it is in Arabic that comes with accommodations. Arabic speakers are used to making accommodations when speaking to people from other varieties. So the further the variety, the more accommodation is needed. Speed is slowed, easier words are used, and synonyms are offered. Like you, instead of saying, for example, door, you would say door, gate. You would offer all the words you know that mean door in some form or another to make sure one of them is understood by the person you are speaking to who is from another variety of Arabic. The ability to make accommodations depends on the speaker. The more exposed to each other's varieties, the more the speakers are able to choose vocabulary they have in common. In order for one to make accommodations, one needs to know what are the elements the speaker of the other varieties cannot understand, and what are the elements that would not make sense to them. And this is, again, we come back to the fact that exposure is very important. In my case, I either speak the variety of my interlocutor or make significant modifications to the way I speak if I cannot produce that variety. For example, I have a good knowledge of Sudanese, but I cannot produce it perfectly. I use all the elements of Sudanese I know, and I replace vocabulary with Egyptian and modern standard Arabic. During the conversation, I pick whatever is possible to pick from my interlocutor to make my sentences closer to that variety. So for example, let's say I thought that I would use door from modern standard Arabic or from Egyptian. And then I noticed that what I call door, he calls gate. So I start during this conversation, I will learn that a Sudanese does not say door when I say door, he says gate. And that way, after that sentence, each time we're going to speak about the door, it's going to be gate. And this is how I would be learning more of that variety that I do not master. And with time, it becomes stronger and accommodations become less needed. Another way of making accommodations is interjection of modern standard Arabic. It's very common in cross-dialectal conversations of educated people. The more educated the speakers are, the more they will embed their discussion with modern standard Arabic. It is not uncommon to interject spoken Arabic in modern standard Arabic. So someone is making a speech, an official speech, and if he's not reading from the paper, because this is not his mother tongue, even in the most formal situations and with the most educated speakers, people tend to interject some of their varieties, vocabulary in their speech. If the speaker belongs to one of the major varieties, this will go unnoticed, but not in the case of less understood varieties, those varieties with no exposure. I personally have been in situations where it was enough for a speaker to interject one preposition in Moroccan for the audience to go, to start complaining and say that they didn't understand that sentence. Sometimes it feels a little bit sad. So remember, if you don't know modern standard Arabic, you are not alone. Many Arabic speakers do not understand modern standard Arabic or are not comfortable using it. If you do not understand some spoken varieties, you are not alone either. Many Arabic speakers do not understand any Maghrebi varieties, for example. So we come to the last question. Is it hard to study modern standard Arabic after an Arabic variety or vice versa? No, on the reverse. Knowledge of one variety of Arabic helps the acquisition of the other. Knowing one variety will certainly help you master the following one faster. It's not going to feel quite like learning two languages, maybe one and a half. The ideal situation is that you would learn one spoken variety and at least some degree of modern standard Arabic. You don't need to speak it to be fluent in it. You just need to get the structure of it, how it works, and obtain some vocabulary. Because especially when we speak about complicated issues like political issues, economical issues, we interject modern standard Arabic terminology into our discussions because sometimes we do not have the needed vocabulary in our spoken varieties. If you do this, if you have like a good knowledge of a spoken variety, especially if it is one of the major varieties, and some knowledge of modern standard Arabic, that will give you actually somehow a simulation of the diglossic situation Arabic speakers live in. However, the most important step, in my opinion, is to choose the variety that suits your needs and your aims, and then just go for it. I really hope that this answers some of your questions, and before everything makes you want to learn Arabic. I will drop some sources or like the places where one can study Arabic as a tweet thread. Please drop me a line if you need help or you have a question. Enjoy Arabic.